Hello and welcome to Durzel's Doodles. In this episode I will be showing you how to draw different emotions. Drawing faces is a challenge, but for cartooning or portraiture in general, understanding how a face works is key. So in this episode I will be going through 8 different facial expressions, just pointing out what key points make each expression the way it is. And after we've drawn the facial expression, we will be including it onto a pre-drawn head, just so we can get the positioning of the eyes, the mouth, just to create a more positioned character, and it's to show where the facial expression will hold on the head. Before we get started though, if you can like and subscribe to my channel, just so you can see my new videos every week, every time I upload them. So let's get started. So as you can see, I've already drawn templates of what our head will be. So there is 8 of these boxes. You can only see the 4 of them at the moment. And what I'll be doing is I'll be going individually into each box, creating the facial expression, and then we'll be including that facial expression onto the head itself. So without further ado, let's get started with the first expression, which is happy. Okay, so the first expression is happy. So with happy, it's quite simple. The eyes, 2 round circles. So with happiness, the eyes are as open as we can have them. And then with the mouth, it's almost like a slice of an orange, or a slice of a fruit, so one curving line sort of going way past either points of the eyes, and then a large curve sort of connecting the 2 points together. So this will represent our open mouth, because with happiness, the more wide the mouth can get and the more open the eyes are, the more the sense of happiness for the character. And then what I will do, I will just adding a line to where the teeth will go. So this line follows the top curve that we created earlier, and put some little marks in just to represent the teeth. And then because the mouth is open quite wide, we'll also see the tongue. Usually the tongue would be hidden, but for this face we want to show the mouth as wide as possible, so showing the tongue will exaggerate the fact. And then while we're here as well, we'll just darken in that section at the back. So this is just the back of the mouth, this part that's being shaded in black. And then with the eyeballs, just two dark circles right in the middle. So that's the pupils of the eye. And then also I'm going to add in eyebrows as well. So the eyebrows start low and end high, or depending on where you start them, high to low. But the main point is that they're curved upwards, just to show almost a shocked expression as well. So there's the eyebrows done. And then one more point to focus on as well is the points above the mouth. So because the mouth is exaggerated, those 2 lines here are representing the cheeks being stretched, being moved away. So there you go, that is the expression of happiness. So our main points are wide open eyes, raised eyebrows, and wide open smiles. So those are the 3 main attributes to a happy face. And so while we're on the face, we're going to be adding it into our head template that we drew beforehand. So on the actual head template, the two eyes go in this central line. This is the line where the eyes will sit. So we will be placing the eyes sort of halfway between that center line and the line of the edge of the jawline. And it's the same on this side, but it's right in the center as well. Same again. But there's less distance on this side because the head's at an angle away from us. It's not looking straight ahead of us. It's almost looking off into that direction. So just adding in the eyes to the center of that line. So this, and I'm just going to erase that central part as well. So that is the eye placement. This part is the base of the nose. So if we were going to include a nose, what I'll do is I'll just draw a simple one. Just a bit of a point. And then the mouth goes down towards this line here. So about halfway down, we'll follow that curve that we did earlier. So the curve of the slice at this top curve. And then the bottom curve that's connecting the 2 points together, we'll just draw them in. And then, yeah, we'll add in the teeth. So the teeth, follow that same curve again. Teeth placement go in as such. And then that central line, that's where the first line goes. So that's the middle line for the teeth. And then beyond that, it's just adding in the extra ones we have. And then if we wanted to add that tongue in, we'll add it in, but add it slightly further back. And then we'll just darken the rest of the mouth, like we did before. Add in the pupils, we'll have the pupils looking off to the left. Add in the eyebrows as well, making sure they're raised up. And then add in those two lines at the top of the mouth just to show where the cheeks will go. And so if we were to add the outline of the face, the cheeks would be quite bulging, so sort of be out like that. And so forth. But I won't go into detail of what the head details would be. But that's the placement of the eyes, and then that is the happy face. So that is that first one done. There you go. Okay, now the next expression is going to be sadness. So with this one, it will be the same two eyes. So we'll draw our two circles in. It's always going to begin this way because depending on what character we do, we subtract part of the eyes with the eyebrows. And with sadness, the eyebrows do hang sort of heavy over the eyes. So the eyebrows are slumped quite lower down. So starts at the bottom and works its way up like we did with the eyebrows of the happy face. But this time it's curved inwards. So lower point up to high. Try and imagine there's a point in the center here where the two lines will meet. So that's the eyebrows sort of drooping over the eyelid. And at the same time, we'll remove those top halves of the eyeball themselves. So this just creates the effect that they're overhanging the eyes quite considerably. And then what we'll do is we'll add in the eyeballs themselves. So there's the eyeballs, and then what we'll do is for the mouth, it's a downward curve. Depending on how sad you want them to be, the more exaggerated the curve, the sadder the character So there's the curve, and then we're adding tension points to the bottom of the mouth this time. So the mouth is really pulling down on the face. So our little tension points will be in this downward end of our curve. That's just exaggerating the fact that the mouth is being dragged all the way to either side of the face. So that is the sadness done. It's quite an easy one, that. And so the main points of that is the low hanging eyebrows, the downward curved mouth, and the tension points of the mouth as well. So low hanging eyebrows, the downward curve, and then the tension points to exaggerate the curve itself. And so onto the face as well. So on the face, same again, we'll be adding in the 2 circles here. So these circles will represent the eyes. And then what we'll be doing is adding in our eyebrows again. So with these center lines, it's quite useful because we can use that as our point in where the eyebrows will droop below. So we'll start at that center line and work towards our imaginary point up here. And the same again, imagining a point up towards the center of that face. Then we'll just erase those marks. There you go. And then we'll add in our quick nose again. Remember, any of these things can be changed. The shape of the nose, the shape of the face, how wide the eyes are apart. It's just as long as the rough guideline is set by these templates, then we know where we're going. And then the mouth as well, same drop, sort of center point again. And then depending on how far you want to stretch that curve will depend on how sad your character is. Then what we'll do is add in those tension points. This side, you can see those points are going past our face border. So if that was to be drawn, that would just be showing the outside of the face. Sort of drooped a lot more. And then we'll add in those irises, those little pupils, There you go, we got our sad little character. So that's sadness done. Okay, this next emotion is anger. So in this one, they're very exaggerated points of the face. So we're adding in our 2 circles again. That's our 2 eyes. So there's the eyes included. And then with the eyebrows, it will be a start at the top and work towards the bottom kind of approach. They will overhang the eyes again like we did with sadness, but with anger, the points are a lot sharper just to emphasize the tension that's in the face. So we'll be starting higher up, working our way down, and then we'll hook back up. So it's hooking up towards that point, up sort of in the middle of the face. And the same on that side as well, working our way down, then hooking up. So that's the eyebrows hanging over the eyes again. This time again, we will also erase that higher point of the eyeball. And depending on how angry the face can be, you can always add in more sort of wrinkles. The more wrinkles you add, the stronger the face becomes. Then we'll add in the eyeballs as well. the pupils, sorry. So that's the pupils in. As you can see, it's quite a mean stare that we're getting from this character. He's obviously not very happy. And with the mouth as well, the top line of the mouth will be angled down. So downward curve like we did with our smile. If you left that there, then it would be almost like a menacing stare. But because we want pure anger, we need to add 2 points coming off at either side. Very sharp points, remember. The sharper the points, the better. And then down at this point, it's almost like a sort of pointed pyramid. So you start low, go up high about halfway, and then back down to low again. So low, high, low. And in this one as well, we'll be showing the teeth of the character. So with the teeth, we'll follow that same line that we set at the top lip, top line of that mouth. But we'll also be adding in the bottom teeth as well. So the bottom teeth is still following that curve, those 2 curves that we set there. Remember, the center line is where the center of your teeth are. Line, 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 so on and so forth. Putting them slightly together more just because it's the base of the teeth. And with these empty spaces, we'll fill them in. So that's just to show that the mouth is opened up quite considerably and it's showing as much of the teeth as possible. And then, much in the same way as the other 2, the more you move the mouth, the more you get in tension points. So with this character that has a lot of anger in his face, the tension is going to be quite high. Like I said, the more tension points you add, the stronger the facial feature becomes. So there you go, that is the anger facial expression. So the main points of the anger is the downward eyebrows, have to be very sharp as well, so very sharp features. And the teeth variation is key. The more teeth you show, the more they're holding back. But if you open the mouth and only show 1 set of teeth, that's quite an almost angry, ready to pounce. And the pointed mouth points as well. The mouth points of the face have to be quite exaggerated. Okay, and onto the head itself, the template. So I'll be including those 2 circles again. So some expressions really help with having a full body as well. And with anger, the head can also be slumped quite low down to the rest of the body. The more you're angry, the more you're ready to almost pounce at someone. So having the neck up here instead of below, quite lower down, does exaggerate the amount of anger that the person has. Like I said, we'll be adding in the eyebrows, so those downward points again, working down towards that center line and then hooking up towards our imaginary middle point. Then erasing the tops of those circles. Then adding in the pupils as well. Adding in some more wrinkles as well, some more angry tension points. And then we'll add in the nose as well. the mouth, so it's that curve. Then our 2 points going away from the face. Then our sort of pyramid shape, so low, high, low, just adding that in. Adding in the line for our teeth. And adding in the teeth themselves. Then shading in that darker points on either side, just so the mouth is now complete. Add in those tension points as well. And there you go. There is the anger done. Okay, the next one is surprise. This one is very simple. So it's our 2 circles for the eyes. So we're just adding them in quickly. So there is the eyes finished. And then with the pupil, it's not a large pupil. The smaller you can get the pupil, the better. So Pure Shock almost dilates the eyes. So the smaller the pupil is, the more shocked that person is as well. And the eyebrows, they're like curved hooks. So they start low, go up high, but they do hook back towards the middle again. So low, high, and then hook towards the center. Also, the higher the eyebrows, the more shocked the character as well. And then all the mouth is just technically another eye. So another circle, shaded in. And more tension points if you do want them on the eyebrows. But other than that, that is the surprised face completed. It's like I said, very simple, but it is a very effective face to have as well. So our main points is the raised eyebrows, the tension points on the eyebrows themselves as well, dilated pupils just to show the shock, and then the open simple mouth. So those key points attribute towards a surprised face. So on our template, we'll just be adding in the circles of the eyes. Also with cartooning, the more exaggerated the face, the better. So in a scenario like surprised, you can almost get away with expanding the face. I'm just going to erase those center lines just because we want to see the pupils. So tiny little pupils added. Our raised eyebrows with our hook towards the center. Tension points as well. Add in our nose. And then our mouth is quite low down. There you go, that is the next facial expression done. That is surprise. Okay, so this next expression is confusion. So this is one of my favorite ones to do. So what we'll do is we'll go back in with our 2 eyes. So just drawing in our 2 circles again. So with confusion, one eye needs to be covered by the eyebrow. So with that, we just place a straight line straight across. Depending on how you can determine how high you want your eyebrow. I'm going to place it roughly about halfway down, and then we're going to hook it straight up, so almost like an L on its side. So that is our eyebrow, and when it's erased, you can get very sort of crisp looking eye cover. And then the eyebrow on the right is going to be the raised one. So it's going to be similar to the surprised eyebrow, but then we're going to sort of gently curve it away, so it's almost like a wave. So with the eyeballs as well, the pupils, sorry, just add in those pupils right in the center. So as you can tell, with confusion, the character is sort of almost not believing and confused. So that's why the two different eyebrows represent that sort of divided nature of the character. And with my confusion, all I do is add in a very simple circle, like we did with the surprise, but a lot smaller. The more smaller, the more on edge the character can seem. Almost like he's waiting to say something, or she. So there you go. That is the confused one. It's very simple, but I find it very effective. So the key point is the different eyebrows in terms of height, straightness. The small mouth is also key as well, because that's where the main part of the confusion in terms of character speech could come from. And then the vacant stare is also key. The more the character is looking at something with confusion, the better. So the more vacant you can make the look, the more you'll get that confusion aspect on point. And then on the face, we're going to add in that confusion. Confusion tends itself towards a tilted head as well, if you did want it. The more tilted, almost like a monkey scratching its head. That sort of cliche look of confusion. So if you wanted, you can add in that sort of tilted head. But for a straight head, we'll just add in those points that we did. So our eyebrow with our sort of straight right angle hook upwards, and then our little wave eyebrow, sort of starting low and waving up towards the top. We'll erase that line where the eyebrow is. And then we'll add in the pupils. Nose is now going to be placed in. And then right at the bottom, right in the center line, a small, tiny circle. So that is the confusion done. Sleepy is the next one, and Sleepy is actually quite a difficult face to draw. In terms of simplicity, it's quite simple, but having to draw it correctly is the challenge, because Sleepy is very close to a sort of depression as well, in terms of having to show it on a character. What you want is to basically make the face as heavy looking as possible. So with the eyebrows, we're going to slump them down. So start low and work towards the top again, curve that. So as you can tell, it almost looks like sadness already. But with the eyelid, it's the same thing. It's a downward curve. So we're basically mirroring what the eyebrow is doing. The more you drop the eyelid, the more tired as well. So with the eyeball, we're not doing a complete pupil, we're doing just sort of almost a half because the eyelid's covering it so much. So there's the eyes done, so quite droopy lines. And the mouth is just a long downward curving curve with some tension points at either end. And there you go. So the main idea of the sleepy face is that the head is just that. It's just very, very sleepy, very tired. There's no sort of strength in any of the muscles. So the main points are the low eyelids that are included, the wide mouth as well, to show that the mouth is very relaxed and droopy, but also no tension in the overall face. We want it to almost hang down. It's going down in every sense. So when it comes to the face, we'll be adding in those 2 circles. This is another good one for head positioning on the body. The more tired you are, the more your head's going to slump down. So your shoulders are going to be almost at the same level as your eyes, if you were to include the rest of the body, because you want the head to almost fall as well. Everything when you're sleepy is in a sort of position of falling down. So just adding in those drooping eyelids as well. Then what we'll do is we will add in our nose as well. And then on the mouth as well, so wide again, very wide, very sort of lazy, but adding in our ends to our mouth as well. Like I said, the more tired you want the character, the more you drop everything down, the more the eyebrows go down, the more the eyelids go down as well. But there you go, that is the sleepy one done. Okay, now fearful is the next one that we have. So with that, we're onto our normal thing again, drawing in our eyeballs, 2 circles. This is another one of my favourites to draw. So there's our eyeballs, and with the eyelids, they're curving up like a sort of hump almost. So it's low to high to low, almost like a hill. And in that we're placing in our pupils. So fear is a good one because your eyelids are almost sort of covering your eyes. You're almost hiding behind your eyelids when you're fearful as well. So that sort of tends towards a good character to draw when they're fearful, because you can really exaggerate how scared that person is. And with the eyebrows, they're another one of those hooked ones like we're doing with surprised. So low to high, then to hook back down towards the middle. So low to high to hook. So the more you raise those eyebrows again, like surprised, the more fearful the character will become. Because it's almost like the eyebrows want to escape your face as well. That's why they're so high. And with the mouth, we're going to be adding in a straight line. And we're going to be adding in our 2 points that we did, like with the anger. And then our little sort of pyramid point to the base of the mouth. So low to high to low. And then with the mouth, we'll be adding in the top row of teeth. We won't be adding in the bottom, because we want to be showing the fact that the mouth is open. We want to be exaggerating that fact. And if we can, we'll be adding in our tongue, like we did with the happiness. So 2 curves represent the bump of the tongue. And then we're just going to shade in the rest. So that little gap there as well. I'm going to shade in this bit over here. And then we'll be adding in some more tension points. And there you go. The more open the mouth is, the more fearful as well. So they're all sort of key in showing how fearful the character is. The more you exaggerate each individual point, the more you'll be showing the character's true emotion. So that is the face done. So our key points that we want to have is the lifted eyebrows, the eyelids raised, the mouth points well, the tension of the mouth points themselves, these sort of lower points, and then the mouth itself being open is key. And then on our face, we'll be adding in our eyes. So if we're adding this to a body as well, the head's going to be almost going away. This head will try and go further back than the body itself. Because with fear, every part of you wants to leave. So your eyebrows want to leave your face, your head wants to leave your body. So it's all this sort of sign of retreat that's working against you. So we're just adding in our eyelids, bumped eyelids, and our pupils as well. And then the eyebrows as well are hooked eyebrows. Remember, the higher the hook, the better. Our nose as well, so we're just adding in our little point there. And then the mouth as well, so straight line. Our 2 points, and then our little sort of pyramid. And then the line across will represent where our teeth are. So adding in all our little lines for the individual teeth. And then what we'll be doing is adding in our tongue. So because of the angle of where the head is, the tongue will be positioned further to the right of the face than the center line, just to show that there's more of a gap in the mouth. As if you're looking at it straight on, that gap's the same distance either side. So just making sure that everything's filled in on the mouth. Going over those points again just to make sure they're as sharp as we can. And then those tension points are added now to the base of either point. And there There you go. So that is the face for fear. Quite an exaggerated face, but is effective. There you go. Just cleaning up all the lines that we have. So there you go, that is the fearful face completed. And our last one that we have is suspicion. So with suspicion, it's sort of a mix between confusion, anger. It's a very sort of complicated emotion, but it is quite simple to draw. It's a weird sort of balance, actually. So what we're doing is we're just adding in our eyes. And with the suspicion, we're placing the eyebrows straight across like we did with our confusion. But the eyebrows are both the same, so both straight. They both have that little straight hook towards the top. If we erase both of the tops of those eyes. So those eyebrows would tend towards a good stare as well. If you're doing a staring character, what I'll do is I'll show you. If I add in those two pupils, that's almost a stare in itself. But with suspicion, you want the eyelids to follow the same straight lines as your eyebrows. So two straight lines either way across. There you go. So it's almost like your body's trying to hide because it's not sure what's going on. So that's why it's hiding behind both the eyelids and the eyebrows. Get more tension points there just to exaggerate the furrow of the brow. And the only other thing is adding in a line. So it's not straight, it's slightly off kilter, and it's almost open as well. It's almost in the same approach of it's going to ask a question. It's that little slight mouth open. So with that, the features are quite close because the character's almost wanting to not let go of the face that it has. The eyebrows as well are a key point. So the eyebrows are now lowered and straight. And the mouth is quite narrow as well. Quite narrow and quite simple in its approach. Just a very sort of quick line. And so when it comes to the head, it's the same approach we did on the other ones. So it's just adding in our eyeball. And then the straight eyebrow across. And then hooking them straight up. Adding in where our eyeball will go. Adding in our extra lines for our eyelids. And then erasing the point above the brow. Adding in some more furrow tension points. And then we'll be adding in our nose as well. And then with our mouth, in that sort of ballpark of just a very simple line. Just making sure all the lines are crisp. So there you go, there's all 8 drawings of facial expressions. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching it though. And if you have any other suggestions on what to draw, please drop them down in the comments. Thank you for watching this. If you can like and subscribe, that would be amazing. But yeah, thank you. Hope you have a nice day.